Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 8041, a race truck. It has 608 pieces for ages 9 to 16. Oh darn, I just missed it. It's from the Technic series, and this set retails for $59.99. Now you're probably wondering, why am I doing a review on a set that came out back in January 2010? And the reason is simply because I managed to modify this set with power functions, which I'm pretty excited about. And I did it only using the parts in this set plus the power functions because, well, you need those, okay? And as you may have noticed, this is a 2-in-1 set, and I managed to modify both the race truck and the race car. Okay, I'm going to make a separate video on how to do that later on, okay? But for now, I'm just going to review it. This way you know what you're getting, and hopefully it will help you in your buying decision. Alright, so let's take a look. Okay, here's the race truck, and I will admit that at first glance it does not look like much. However, this is the cheapest set that you can get out there if you want to get into the hobby of building your own remote controlled car, or in this case, a truck. But you can still rebuild this into a car, of course. Alright, that's the second model. And this is actually my first Technic set, and I figured it's a pretty good start. Okay, some of the features that I was looking for in building a remote controlled car was a differential, which is this part right here. If you do not know what a differential is or what it does, it's okay. I didn't know what it was until about 2 months ago. Just type differential in YouTube and check out the first or second video, and that will explain everything that you need to know on what a differential does. Okay, next I was looking for a basic steering column, which is essential, and you get one over here, and that's operated by the knob up there, and that's how that steers. Pretty neat, right? And I can definitely motorize that later on. I was also looking for a set with a good set of bumpers because I trashed my first remote controlled car when I was a kid, and we get a good set of bumpers right here in the front and here in the back, so that's pretty nice. I was also looking for a set with suspension, and I'll admit that this one does not have a suspension whatsoever. The only other set out there that has it is the supercar, which is $120. This one is just $60. So I figured for a $60 difference, I can live without the suspension for now. Alright, especially since I wasn't sure if I can modify this into being remote controlled. And then on the top here, if you notice, it's pretty empty on the back here. And that's pretty good because that's where I can squeeze in the battery box and the receiver. Alright, and that's about it as far as what I was looking for. Now the other features on the truck is this V8 engine right here, which operates every time the truck moves. Which is cool, I guess, although honestly I'm not that flattered by it. In fact, I'm going to rip that out later on because number one is dead weight, which will slow down your vehicle. Okay, you want it to be lighter. Although honestly, it doesn't speed up the vehicle by much, if at all. Alright, but I'm going to rip that out anyway because that's where I put the XL motor, which I'll show in a separate video. Okay, and then next we have this cab up here, which can be tilted forward by lifting this part. And you can see the inside, which is not much, but that's it for that. And then next, we have the doors up here which can open, which is pretty useless because you don't get a figure to put inside. And that's it. Okay, let's take a look at the race car. Here is the race car, and honestly, I like this model better than the race truck. It has pretty much the same features, such as the differential, and every time the rear wheels move, it'll make the pistons inside the V8 engine move in and out. We also get the basic steering, which is operated by the knob up here. And that's pretty much all you need to make a remote controlled car. Okay, we have the doors here, and that's pretty useless. And this part can open up, which is probably not meant to do so, because this is a race car, and I don't recall race cars having that feature in the back. However, what I like about this race car is that it comes with a really good bumper in the front. And the reason why I say that is because you can put lights into the headlights here. On the race truck you can't do that, and I'll show you how to do that in a separate video. Okay, you can also do the same with the tail lights over here. However, there's really no bumper on the back here, which is okay, I guess. I don't plan to rear end anything anytime soon. Okay, and that's pretty much it as far as the features go on the car. Now, as far as the set is concerned overall, I think it's not bad. It's a really good start if you want to get into building a remote controlled car, especially if you don't own any Technic parts like me. Okay, And I think most people will find this set quite disappointing in the end, because it's really just a car that moves around like this and you can steer it, and honestly I don't find that very exciting. In fact, pretty boring actually. And it's for that reason that I think this car was meant to be modified using a M motor. You're going to need an XL motor, you need a receiver, a remote, and any type of battery box. Okay, there's 3 different kinds. There's a rechargeable, which is what I got. The AAA looks like this one, and the AA battery box is a little bit bigger, but I'll show you how to modify the car using any battery box, okay? And that'll make this car just a little bit more exciting, alright? But yeah, overall this set is probably not worthwhile to get unless you plan to motorize it, okay? And for now, let me just give you a sneak peek as to what it looks like after it's been modified. And here they are. Let's take a look at the race truck first. Oops. Well, there we go. As you can see, I'm not very good at it. Here's the steering. This is why you need good bumpers. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm controlling that with this remote control over here. It uses infrared technology, so you'll need to aim at it to make it work. Okay, and you will have enough parts left over after you motorize it to add these little joysticks here, so that's a little bit easier to handle. Okay, let's take a look at the race car. And there we go. Pretty neat. And there's the steering. Okay, and it's pretty cool overall. Now as far as price is concerned, the set is $60, but to add the power functions, it's going to run you a total of $110 to $180. It depends on which battery box you get. Okay, the cheapest battery box is this one right here, which uses the AA batteries and uses 6 of them. Okay, the rechargeable battery is the most expensive one, which is $50, and it doesn't come with an AC adapter, which is weird. You'll have to get that separately, and that's an extra $25. Okay, so it's going to run you 110 to 180, and that includes the set. Okay, now in case you're wondering if you need to be like an engineering expert, I'm going to say that you don't need to. I mean, look at me. I'm definitely not engineering material. Alright, I got a D in physics, I dropped chemistry, okay, but still I managed to build these, alright, which is pretty neat. You just got to get yourself into it, and then you'll totally understand it. And I totally recommend this if you've always had an interest in making remote controlled cars, or just playing with one, or if you're just curious as to how cars work. Okay, this is a good way to learn that. Very educational, okay? And that's pretty much it. Okay, that sums up my review, and I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.